My 39 male, wife 38 female of 10 years wants an open marriage after I advised her to use Tinder as a confidence boost. My wife and I have always been on the larger side of things. I made a lot of lifestyle modifications after our second kid, who is now 4 years old. I began going to the gym, practicing powerlifting, and jogging often. I attempted to get my wife to join in, and although she enjoyed coming to the gym at first, she gradually relapsed into poor habits. I'm not one to press too hard, and I always assured her that I would adore her regardless of her size. We continued to have around 3-4 times each week, which we both liked and encouraged each other to try new things. My wife just observed a lady from my gym commenting on one of my workout videos on Instagram. It was a video of me breaking my personal record in a deadlift, with about 10 people from the gym cheering me on, including the lady who commented, "Fantastic outcome." Now on to the next. I understand my wife's concern, but I informed her that there is nothing there. This is someone I sometimes talk to during workouts, and one of the people in the video who is assisting me is her husband. Anyway, it boiled down to her fear that I was becoming much more attractive than she was, and that I would leave her for some young and beautiful lady at the gym. We got into a pleasant debate, and I declared that even if we both created a Tinder account right now, she would definitely still receive much more matches than me. Knowing that there are an endless number of eager males, I felt reasonably confident in my theory. I've never used a dating app before, but I believe that as a decent-looking 39-year-old in good health, I'd receive several matches. We both downloaded Tinder and purchased the Tinder Gold package in order to swipe in another city, both terrified of neighbors seeing us or something. We opted to set our settings in London and then began watching a film. Throughout it all, the attitude was upbeat and lighthearted. We both checked our phones again after the movie, 2 hours. My wife had 330 likes and I had 1. You can check who has swiped you with Tinder Gold. Her phone was exploding. The first person to approach her resembled a mix between Khal Drogo and The Rock, and he was also a dentist, as shown by his photos, who was excited about meeting my wife tonight. My wife's response told me straight away that all this attention was getting her on. We sat on her phone for maybe 30 minutes, simply watching the texts come in. So many compliments from 6 male model types, people asking to meet up, males providing their contact information. Every ethnicity and kind of male was there to her at her fingers. When she inquired about my matches and discovered that I only had 1, she exclaimed, "Aloha, at least I still want you, honey." Call me crazy, but this was the moment I saw something was different in her eyes. It was as if she suddenly realized she could do better than me and an infinite number of attractive males. We canceled our accounts that night and didn't speak about it much after that. I, for one, was afraid to bring it up and felt humiliated that I had only gotten 1 match. To make matters worse, she looked far worse than my wife, and my wife even made fun of my match. Over the next few weeks, my wife began to reject mine more and more, and we hadn't had in a month 2 months later. She was chilly, bitter, and began to have mood swings. This is when I let my nasty side to take over. I took her work laptop, which she normally keeps in her office drawer, and decided to see what I could discover one day while she was visiting her mother. I discovered she was using Tinder on her work laptop browser and had been chatting with males from all over the globe for the previous several weeks. She had swiped in Dubai, New York, and California, to mention a few. The discussions all addressed her being single, and they were all explicit. All of the men she was chatting to were 10 years younger than us. Then I tried web.whatsapp.com to check whether she had left that signed in. Reading her WhatsApp texts made me sick to my stomach, but I wanted to know. I noticed that her 2 closest friends, who have just become single and have been dating a lot on Tinder, have been pushing her to realize what you can get, and have been attempting to persuade her to leave me or force me into an open marriage. She often gives them screenshots of the people she's matching with and openly considers cheating on me. I've been spying on her work laptop while she's gone for nearly 3 weeks now, and she has no idea. She casually mentioned the open marriage to me yesterday. However, she structured it in such a manner that it seemed as if I could do anything I wanted and that she knew I'd want to play about. She says she hasn't used Tinder since our trial. I'm completely heartbroken. We were wonderful a few months ago, but now it seems like my life is coming apart. What is going on seems so animalistic. I don't want to believe my wife is this shallow, but it seems she feels she can do better than me and simply wants to gorgeous males. She hasn't as far as I can tell, but she has added a few people from Tinder to her WhatsApp and has been toying with the possibility of meeting them. I will never accept an open marriage in any shape or form. Of course, I took pictures of everything and even recorded the chats on her laptop screen. My marriage already feels like it's finished to me. It's as if I've been granted access to a portion of my wife's mind that I wish didn't exist. I felt awful occasionally for staring at girls at the gym for more than 5 seconds, and I worried about betraying my wife by having dirty thoughts, etc. Has anybody else gone through anything similar? How can I even approach her? Story 2. My dad is a cheater. Yet, he cheated once, but his mindset is that of a cheater. I hope it helps me recognize it in the future. My ex left me for his AP 7 months ago. I had no idea what was going to happen to me, and I was devastated. It's been a process of mending as well as learning from my errors and never giving myself to a possible cheater. My father cheated on my mother when I was 7 years old. They split, but he returned 2 years later, and my mother accepted him back. He never cheated again, as far as we know, but I realized he still has the attitude, and all it takes is a young dumb who is desperate enough to pursue him, and he would do it again. My father is loyal due of a lack of alternatives. My ex was as well, and I mistaken it for faithfulness. It just took one desperate female for him to go. I was provoked by a date I went on with an AP. I understood that the justifications he provided me for doing so were the same nonsense justifications my ex gave me. This morning, I addressed it with my father, and he truly demonstrated to me that cheats have a specific fundamental thinking. So I believe I have found the trick to tracking them down, even if they have never cheated before. This is the starting point. Emotions are reality, and you should never deny them. Being in love is the sanctification of all your wrongdoing. These are the folks that tell you that if you love someone else, you leave rather than cheat. This seems to be correct. However, there is a huge flaw in this reasoning. What about the current relationship? Wasn't it horrible enough that you had to go without a backup? So it's okay to just upgrade. It demonstrates a kind of selfishness. The hearth wants what it wants, regardless of how many people are killed in order for me to obtain what I want. The fact of long-term partnerships is that you will develop emotions for other people. There are plenty of gorgeous individuals out there who would be interested in you. You need to put a stop to such sentiments. In my instance, I realized that these sentiments were fleeting. I saw myself shattering my husband's heart, beginning a life with the new man, and finding myself in the same position in a few years, constantly starting and ending, never creating anything meaningful, possessing a future. It's like acquiring a pet to me. I adore that young, funny puppy, with his large paws and hairless belly. But as the puppy gets older, you see other pups and think, wow, they make me feel so much. My own dog is no longer as adorable. I'm sorry, but I've fallen out of love with my dog. I'm giving up my dog in order to obtain a new puppy. Repeat the process. When it comes to dating, I like folks who understand that partnerships are hard work, that commitment is not feeding those sentiments, realizing that puppy love is seductive, but in the end just a phase, and it will also die for that new companion. You are constantly at danger if you spend your life with an eye on the door, wondering what if I could do better. Look for those that are willing to be thankful for what they have. Understand that there are so many individuals with whom they might have amazing ties, but they chose to base their future on that one person. There is only one decent excuse to call it quits on a relationship. You're dissatisfied, it's not working, go. Others have no place in this process. You are selfish if you believe it is okay to leave for another. You are either reluctant to be alone and rely on others as a substitute big jerk move, or you are addicted to puppy love. So, ask every one of your dates whether they think it's okay to go since you're in love. They will demonstrate their reasoning. Best wishes.